227 lockdown instituted. Any units returning to base will be shot on sight. 227 lockdown now active. Any retreating soldiers will be executed for cowardice. Anti-armor bombers are en route to the target. IL-2 will saturate the area with anti-tank bombs. Ilyushin IL-2 bomb strike imminent. Ilyushin IL-2 bombing run commenced. IL-2 bombing run inbound. IL-2 bomb strike heading for target. Leaving a surprise for the enemy infantry. Arming a trap at our strategic location. Political officer deploying now, comrade. A commissar has joined our ranks. Heavy machine gun team on the field. We have a Dishka HMG, comrade commander. Forward headquarters ready, comrade. Converting to field headquarters. Troops now fight harder and move faster. For Mother Russia! We will paralyze the enemy with fear. The guns of the Soviet Union play a song of victory. Stavka is dispatching a heavy tank to assist us. High Command has issued an IS-2 heavy tank. We call upon the sons of the Rodina to fight harder. The Red Army is filled with heroes. We will terrify the enemy. Our artillery will pulverize the enemy. Reconnaissance aircraft dispatched. IL-2 overflight in progress. Sturmovik strike in progress. Sturmovik target confirmed. Airstrike has been authorized. Deploying 2 T-34 tanks to your position. Armored reserves are being deployed to the battlefield. Not one step backwards. Break the enemy's attack for the motherland! Launching incendiary artillery barrage! Incendiary artillery barrage to target! KV-2 heavy assault tank deployed. A KV-2 heavy assault tank has joined our forces. M42 anti-tank gun has reported for duty. A new anti-tank gun has arrived on the field of battle. Deploying manpower reserves to your command. Our supply lines need time to recover. Redirecting emergency manpower reserves to the front. Vehicle marked for priority attack. Target vehicle has been marked. Vehicle has been marked for destruction. Marked vehicle will be obliterated. Additional partisan fighters are on the field. Partisans have arrived with anti-vehicle weapons. A partisan squad has arrived and is ready for orders. A partisan squad is here to join our fight. A partisan squad has reported for duty. Use them well. The partisans are here to join the battle. They are not Russians, but they will have to do. Partisans have joined the fight. Irregular forces have joined our cause, comrade. Fear propaganda unleashed. Dropping propaganda on the enemy. Raining propaganda at the targeted location. Propaganda opening the eyes of the enemy. Rapid conscription will now replace those who fall to the enemy. Conscripts will replenish our forces. IL-2 reconnaissance mission in the air. IL-2 reconnaissance mission underway. IL-2 reconnaissance flight initiated. Reconnaissance mission in progress. Our last reserves have been deployed, Commander. Make them count. Elite Red Banner T-34-85s are now on the field. Turn this battle around! Scorched Earth policy is now in effect. Mortars will bombard any territory the enemy tries to take from us. Air forces will attack enemies in the designated sector. Air cover will be provided at your position. Our local spies are marking enemy positions, Comrade Commander. Spy network operational. All lost tanks to be replaced by T-34s. A T-34 will be substituted for any lost tank. Lose a tank and we will send a T-34 to replace it. Any tank lost will be replaced with a reasonably new T-34. Troops are being transferred to make room for fresh recruits. Old units are being transferred to make room for the new. All vehicles can now be detected. No vehicle can now hide from the Red Army. All enemy vehicles located. We now have the location of every vehicle on the map. The enemy is attacking our allies' HQ. Our allies' base is under attack. One of our allies has lost their HQ. Allied HQ has been destroyed. Conscripts can now attack tanks with AT grenades. AT grenades now available to all conscripts. Soviet HQ now includes a field hospital, but only for those who are seriously wounded. Comrades, we have now installed a field hospital at headquarters. Conscripts can now throw Molotovs. Conscripts, now you can use Molotovs to burn those bastards. The people anticipate our victory. The enemy has 10 points remaining. The enemy is down to 25 points. Victory is in our grasp. We have nearly won. The enemy is down to 25 points. The enemy has only 50 points remaining. We have taken the enemy down to 50 points. The enemy has 75 points remaining. You appear suited for command. The enemy is down to 100 points. The enemy has 100 points remaining. The enemy is reduced to 200 points. Our enemy has only 200 points. We are wearing our enemy down. They only have 250 points remaining. The enemy has 300 points remaining. The enemy still has 300 points. One of our emplacements is under attack. The enemy is trying to destroy a structure. The enemy has taken out one of our buildings. We have lost a defensive structure. One of our AT guns has been neutralized. The enemy has silenced one of our anti-tank guns. We have lost one of our armored vehicles. The enemy has destroyed one of our vehicles. Another vehicle has been lost in the defense of the Rodina. We are suffering vehicle losses. We have lost a machine gun crew. One of our machine guns has been silenced. Brave infantry have made the ultimate sacrifice. More of our troops have been lost. The enemy has killed another infantry squad. A squad of infantry has been killed. Death before retreat. We have lost a mortar crew. We have lost a mortar team. The enemy is about to defeat us. We have only 10 points remaining. We must hold the enemy. We are down to our last 25 points. We have been reduced to 25 points. Failure is not rewarded. Victory is slipping from our grasp. We have only 50 points remaining. A mere 50 points remain before our defeat. You are showing weakness. We are down to 75 points. We have fallen to 100 points. Do not let this trend continue. We are down to 100 points. Only 200 points remain. Double your efforts. We have 200 points remaining. The enemy is gaining a foothold. We are down to half our points. 300 points stand between us and defeat. Our points have fallen to 300. We have failed the Rodina. We have failed ourselves. We have lost. But the revolution will prevail in the end. We have made Comrade Stalin proud. A glorious victory, comrade. Our HQ is under attack. The enemy is attacking our HQ. Our headquarters is taking enemy fire. We must protect our HQ. Our command post is under assault. Losing our HQ does not look good on a report. We have lost our headquarters. The enemy has destroyed our HQ. The enemy is encroaching on our territory. Our territory is falling into enemy hands. Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory. Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector. A sector is at risk. We are losing territory. We are losing supplies to the enemy. The enemy is taking what we have secured. The enemy has taken our supply sector. Enemy forces are capturing our supplies. Enemy forces capturing supply sector. Supply sector under attack. The enemy has taken a sector from us. We have lost a territory. We have lost a sector. Sector lost. Combat engineers can now deploy B4 super heavy artillery guns. 203mm artillery is now available, Comrade Commander. Combat engineers can now deploy B4 super heavy artillery guns. IL-2s are standing by to destroy the enemy's armor. Anti-tank armed aircraft are standing by. IL-2 bomb strike may now be called in. IL-2 bomb strike available to rain death. IL-2 ready and loaded to bring destruction. Combat engineers can now place anti-personnel mines. We may now lay anti-personnel mines to greet the enemy. Conscript squads may now throw volleys of anti-tank grenades. Conscripts are now trained in anti-tank grenade assault tactics. Conscripts can now be equipped with anti-armor weapons. Our brave infantry can now hold back the enemy's armored vehicles. We can now sabotage strategic points, Comrade Commander. We may now wire traps at key strategic points, lest the enemy try to retake them. PPSH submachine guns will now be issued to all new conscript squads. New conscript squads will now be armed with PPSH submachine guns. Ambush camouflage now available. You can now use camouflage to ambush the enemy. Political officers are ready to deploy, Comrade Commander. A commissar is prepared to join our forces to help inspire our men. Combat engineers can now construct machine gun nests. Our combat engineers can build machine gun nests to hold the enemy back. We may now deploy heavy machine guns, comrade. Dishka HMGs are ready to deploy. Conscripts can now use evasive tactics. Evasive tactics now available for any conscript. Conscripts can now dig in. Our conscript units can now go to ground, commander. Our tank crews are ready to assault the enemy at maximum speed. Tanks can now outmaneuver the enemy. High Command has authorized converting civilian structures to field headquarters, commander. We can now establish forward headquarters. Combat engineers can now construct forward observation posts. We can now build forward observation posts to detect the enemy. You may now unleash our soldiers' patriotic zeal to increase combat effectiveness. We shall fight as never before, Commander. Just give the order. Soviet artillery is reloaded and awaiting a target. Another IS-2 heavy tank is ready for deployment. Heavy armored support is ready to deploy. Sturmovik rearmed and standing by. Red Army artillery ready to fire. Sturmovik close air support is available. Recon aircraft is refueled. Aerial reconnaissance standing by. We now have access to additional battlefield options. Additional resources are now available to you, Commander. Guard rifle infantry squads are now available. Guard rifle infantry squads can now be called to fight for the motherland. We can now deploy quickly trained T-34 reserve forces. Reserves of T-34s are standing by. They are inexperienced but will have to do. Just give the order, and our men will hold this position to the last breath. Our soldiers are prepared to hold our ground at any cost. Our soldiers are prepared to hold our ground at any cost. Incendiary artillery barrage ready to fire. Incendiary artillery is now available. The power of Soviet industry now ensures rapid construction of vehicles and structures. The full might of the Soviet Union's mighty factories is now available. IS-2 heavy tanks are now available to crush the enemy. The powers that be have granted us IS-2 heavy tanks. ISU-152 tanks are now available to wreak havoc on enemy fortifications. We now have access to ISU-152 tanks. KV-1 heavy tank ready to join the fight. Kliment Voroshilov 1 tank ready for deployment, comrade. You may now deploy a KV-2 heavy assault tank. Kliment Voroshilov 2 heavy tank ready for deployment. KV-8 flamethrower tanks are now available to burn the Germans back to Berlin. We now have access to KV-8 flamethrower tanks. Engineers can now place light anti-tank mines. Light anti-tank mines are ready to be placed at key locations. We can now deploy M42 light anti-tank guns. M42 anti-tank guns are ready to deploy. Reserves of manpower stand ready to be used. We have emergency reserves at the ready. Target vehicle marking available. Vehicles can be marked and targeted. Marking and targeting of vehicles is now available. Our superiors have given us 120mm mortars. 120mm mortars are now available for deployment. We have access to additional reserves of manpower. But we must hold the enemy here. We have committed all available resources. We can no longer afford to fall back, Commander. Partisans are ready to deploy with anti-vehicle weapons. We have more partisans and irregulars waiting to join the fight. You may now call upon local partisan forces, Comrade Commander. There are local partisans ready to join forces with us. Penal squads are now available to die for the motherland. We now have access to penal squads. Use those cowards well. More propaganda is available to be dropped on the fascisti. You can now use propaganda against the enemy again. Fear propaganda can once again be unleashed. Rapid conscription tactics are now at our disposal. We may trigger rapid conscription at your command. IL-2 available for reconnaissance flight. IL-2 ready for reconnaissance. IL-2 recon flight gassed up and set to go. Elite Red Banner Division reserves stand at the ready. Red Banner T-34-85s are available to overrun the enemy. We are now able to intercept and decode German radio transmissions. We are now equipped to decode German radio transmissions. Combat engineers can now construct repair stations. Repair stations are ready for construction, Comrade Commander. Targeted repairs can now be accomplished. Any structure or vehicle can now be repaired. Combat engineers can now equip salvage kits. Salvage kits ready to be distributed. Scorched earth tactics are now at our disposal. We may now employ scorched earth tactics to protect our territory. Air forces stand at the ready to provide support at designated sectors. IL-2 attack planes are ready to provide air cover at the target location. Shock troops can now be used to crush the enemy. Local spies are ready to reveal enemy positions. We have gained access to a spy network. Crews can now repair their own vehicles. All crews have been trained to repair damaged vehicles. The Soviet war machine is ready to send replacement tanks. Destroyed tanks can now be replaced with T-34s. T-34s now available to replace any lost tanks. T-34-85 tanks are now ready for use. Use them to crush the Huns. Our T-34s have been outfitted with 85mm guns. We will follow their tracks to victory. Vehicle detection now available. Detection of enemy vehicles can now be achieved. Enemy vehicle detection can be utilized. Engineers can now place tank traps. Engineers are ready to build tank traps and obstacles, comrade. We cannot afford to supply any more troops. Logistics prohibits us from sending more troops. No more Red Army soldiers are available. You must win with the army you have, comrade. We need to re-establish our supply lines. A sector has been cut off. We have an isolated sector. Supply lines have been cut. The enemy has cut off a sector. Anti-tank gun is ready for action. AT gun is ready for combat. We have a new scout car at our disposal. Armored car has reported for duty. We have more conscripts at our disposal. Fresh conscripts have arrived. Command unit is ready to be deployed. Command squad on the field. Combat engineers are standing by. Engineers ready for assignment. We have a new unit. Guards troops ready for action. Fresh guards troops are standing by. Half-track has been assigned to our forces. A new half-track has arrived. IS-2 heavy tank standing by. Stalin tank ready. Heavy assault gun needs orders. ISU-152 has been deployed. Rocket launcher on the field. Katyusha now available. A KV-1 heavy tank is on the field. KV-1 heavy tank on station. Heavy machine gun team prepared for combat. MG squad awaiting orders. Mortar team reports ready for combat. Mortar team has arrived. Penal troops are standing by. Strafbat needs orders. Su-76 assault gun standing by. Su-76 ready for action. We have a new Su-85 to deploy. Su-85 tank destroyer ready. Shock troops have arrived. Shock troops awaiting deployment. Sniper now available for duty. Sniper has arrived. We have a new T-34 standing by. T-34 ready for combat. Light tank ready for orders. T-70 light tank has arrived. The enemy has the advantage. We must fight harder. You are letting the enemy beat us. We are losing to the enemy. The enemy is currently winning. Blizzard conditions are imminent. Blizzard imminent. Blizzard conditions are now in effect. Caution! Blizzard! Blizzard is passing. Normal weather is returning. Blizzard is passing. Conditions clear. The blizzard is gone. The blizzard is gone. Warning! Your troops are freezing to death. Troops are dying in the cold. Are your men Soviets? How can they be freezing? Have you not planned for winter? Are you going to pave the way to Berlin with the frozen corpses of your men? There are reports of your soldiers freezing. Their weapons and clothing belong to the state. You are responsible for your soldiers. If they freeze to death, they cannot die fighting the enemy. Freezing troops dying under your command is an inefficient use of state resources.